What good behaviors are a donkey supposed to have? All the opposite stuff. Let me tell you, if your donkey's doing this, there's something wrong with it. You know, this is about concept. It's about understanding. 60 million years of evolution did not prepare a donkey to do this. If you take a foal, you put it in the field, you leave it 4 years, you come back and you go, I'm just going to catch him and pick up his feet. You tell me which behavior you're going to get. You're going to get that behavior? No. Every time a donkey is born, it has to be domesticated. If your donkey cannot do one of those things, there is only one reason for that. It has not been trained to do it. Now, I had said, you know, you're in the rescue and other bad things have happened, but that's not the reason. The reason is we haven't trained it to do it. And that's the only change that we'll begin to make. The concept in our head is, my donkey kicks, that's bad. Not for the donkey, it's not. It's perfectly normal behavior. You know, 6,000 years of domestication doesn't replace 60 million years of evolution. You know, in the wild, you don't deal with this stuff. You just walk away from it. Oh my God, there's something frightening. Shall we fix it? Shall we go over it? Shall we do? No, let's just leave it. Get into domestication, and the two legs is doing things like, well, just stand still and pick your foot up. I'm going to trim bits off the bottom of your leg, but I will stop before I get to the bone. Just open your mouth. And Gemma's lovely, but she's just going to keep going all the way to the gums. No, she's not. It's fine. You don't have to. Let's get in this box, and we'll close it. It'll be dark, and there'll be some movement. And then we'll open it, and you'll be somewhere completely different. You know, look, with no knowledge of the internal combustion engine, what's going on? Yet we expect them to solve problems in the way we solve problems. Go back to the moonwalking bear, go back to the perception of the old lady or the young lady. We're thinking with our brain, not theirs. And one of the things we need to do is to think with their brain. How do they perceive it? How do they understand it? Because they're not great problem solvers. Why? Because grass never runs away. Look, you can fall asleep on it. And it's still there when you wake up. It's called scramble competition. Yeah, if you can get there first, you can eat it. Carnivores, hunters, foxes, dogs, wolves, they learn to have to hunt. You go that way, I'll go that way. We'll ambush their prey that's running in that direction at that speed. It needs problem-solving skills. But with the donkey, you just need to get there first. It's not to say they can't solve problems and they don't learn to solve problems. It's not something they're naturally born with that we then use. They solve problems by kicking and bucking and rearing and running away. And the first thing that we have to do is go, guess what? I want you to solve problems by standing still. And that's a rubbish thing to do. In evolution, oh look, mountain lion. I'll see if this works. Standing still is the key behavior. Stand still to have your feet trimmed. Stand still to have the dentist. Stand still to be groomed. Stand still for just about everything you want them to do. So put in those ways of solving problems. You know, we want to teach the donkey how to solve problems, not teach the donkey what it's got to do. And I think a lot of the methods that get used are about making the donkey do stuff as opposed to allowing them to learn how to do something. And this comes back to your principles and those sorts of things. Yeah, you can prove this. Have you ever seen that thing where donkeys, you got a paddock or a thing, and one of the donkeys gets out and is on the wrong side of the fence, and the one's on the inside, and you can see them going, hang on a minute, I'm just going to go back to the gate and come around and join you. Or do they run up and down the fence going, because they just like detour tests. They're not great at it. Dogs can do it, but not so much the equines. There are 5 F's. Yeah? You fight, flight, freeze, fiddle about and faint. Most equines, most animals will do this first before they decide whether they need to run away. Because you don't just be running all the time or fighting all the time. So there's a freeze. Well, we miss that, push them too far, then they have to do this. Fiddling about and fainting. That's a really good human one. Certain species do it more than others. It's that, oh, I'm not sure, I'm uncomfortable what we're going to do. The donkeys that survive the breed are those with the best fight mechanism and those to keep their territory. Those who are prepared to attack a predator, fastest to run away. That's essentially the animal you're dealing with today. Oh joy. Luckily, evolution put one more thing in. Their ability to adapt to scary stimulus. If you're always running, there's no time for breeding and feeding. So the one advantage the equine has is that they learn to deal with things that weren't actually dangerous or scary. That allows us to train them. Antelope don't have that. Everybody's eaten antelope in Africa, so they're always running. Equines have learned to be able to deal with things that aren't scary, and that's the one thing that evolution put in, as well as, you know, gaps in the teeth that allow us to put a bit in and stuff like that. But which leads me to this. This is what I'm trying to get to for you, right? The problem we have is that people tend to put the donkey on the horse body language fear scale. A note for the scientists amongst you, I made this up, all right? There's no scientific proof. It's a trainer thing to try and get this concept across. So what happens is, you have your horse, and it's really easy to see when a horse is scared, isn't it? You take it to something, and it goes, and you go, okay, he's scared. We can deal with that. Because that communication is there from their social structure. And what you'll see is if we use this imaginary scale going from calm and relaxed up to worried, up to panic, and we introduce something that is scary, you can see when a horse is at panic level. What happens with a donkey, on the same scale, it only comes in at worried. Because we're reading it on the wrong scale. Because we're familiar with horses, because you've seen television with racing and Champion the Wonder Horse or Black Beauty or whatever, we got this picture that that's what horses do. So donkey, well, no, he really is just a small horse with big ears. So we must be on the same scale. You take a horse to something scary, he goes, oh my gosh, I don't like that. You go, okay, he's scared. You take a donkey to something he doesn't like, and he goes, that's a bit worrying. You go, come on. He goes, no, that really is quite scary. Come on. No, I really can't do that. Now, we have a problem. If the donkey doesn't appear really scared, but he doesn't want to do what we are asking him to do, he must just be stubborn. It's not true. We put him on the wrong scale. He needs his own scale. The donkey is still at panic on his scale level. But if you put him on the horse scale, it doesn't seem like he's that worried. So we end up pushing the donkey too far, we do too much, we have them react in certain ways they don't need to react in. It's a bit like saying, you know what, I'm taking the dog to the vet. Why is that? Well, he's not purring. I'm taking the cat too because she's not wagging her tail. It's that different. And that's why you need to be able to get onto this scale here so that you can understand the tiniest movements, the little tension in the muzzle, movement of the ear, little worry lines around the eyes are all really clear signals from a donkey. And I know it appears for some people like, you haven't met my donkey, he's stubborn. You know? It's not stubborn. They are not capable of deliberately doing things to annoy you. Shit, you really don't know my donkey, man. You know, I know it might feel like that, but deceitfulness, the ability to have a plan that they know is going to upset you so that they can find that funny that you're upset. I know, hang on. Guys, listen up. Monday morning, she's always in a rush because she's got to get to work. And if she's late, she gets in trouble. That'll be so funny. So what we'll do is wait until she gets up to us and then run away. A couple of people thinking, you know my donkeys, they'll do that. You know, in our mind, we see the donkey that's not doing something we want it to. And we don't think about those 40 things that could be changing its behavior. We don't think about the neural pathways in its brain that we're trying to change. It's easier just to go, he's being stubborn. So actually, maybe it's something I'm doing. Maybe my timing's wrong. Maybe I'm making the steps too big. Maybe I've expanded the comfort zones more than I should have done. But that's what's really going on with the donkey's behavior, is we've got this animal that's based on millions of years of evolution that does not behave like a horse. You all know that. The trouble we have is going, well, what does it behave like then? And how do we adapt what we do to meet that donkey? And that's what we're trying to get to today, is to begin to look at that. It's the science of behavior to go, okay, how do we shape the behavior? How do we do these steps? But the starting point, especially for novice owners, especially for people who you may be coming across that don't get this, is recognizing you cannot read the donkey on the horse scale. You have to be able to transfer them over. You know, and you said you've got your horses and you've got your donkey. Do you kind of get where we're talking about? And it's really hard to do. If you've never had any equine experience, I think it's easier to get this scale, because you know, yeah, you've seen something on the telly, but you kind of get it. Well, if you've got a horse scale and you've been with horses for years, and then you go, what? How does that work? It's much harder to do.